how's everybody doing tonight? And tonight I'm going to talk about something that I've talked about before, but I want to hit on some things that might help you get to your goals, might help you get to $1,000 a night. And some of these things that I will be talking about won't only get you to $1,000 a day per pressure washing, but could get you to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day. And so a lot of this is going to be stuff that you can take action, but it all comes down to you taking action, and might have a special guest coming on here shortly. And so that will be, he's supposed to come on, and I know he's a regular guest here and a lot of you like him. And so we will be kind of going over this, hashing this out. And so that is kind of the goal for tonight. Donovan is supposed to come on at 9 o'clock, but it's 9:01 and it's Donovan. So it is what it is. But we'll get started here. How much is Marketing Monday? Marketing Monday is part of the membership, which is $99 a month is what that is. So that's for Monday Marketings and all of the content on the backside of it. So let's talk about some things here that I went to eat lunch with a guy the other day. It took me back memory lane. And so I remember when $1,000 day was a big day. I remember when I did my first $1,000 day. And so I was back and so one of the guys that I had started, we went to, it was one that I decided to go, and I was going to join BNI. I had liked all these realtors, and a realtor reached out to me. His name was Frank Luttrell, and he reached out and said, "Hey, we have this small group. Would you like to come? It's a bunch of business owners." And so I said, sure, why not? So this was in December. And so with that, with it in December, I went and I decided to join BNI. And when I did join BNI, I was a mess. And so one of the guys that I learned how to BNI, one reason why I went to BNI is so that I could learn how to sell and talk to other people. I was not very good at it at all. In fact, Mike mentioned that you couldn't even get through your introductory to talk about your business because you were such a bag of nerves. And so it was pretty cool that I got to go eat lunch with him the other day, and he's thinking about starting a pressure washing business. And so it's pretty crazy how that one connection that I made many moons ago and how it came back around. And so this is some things that we can do to help us grow our business. And so I've got this guy on. He's not eating. I know you all are shocked probably.
I left my food at the poker table. I was eating though.
But so we got Mr. Donovan on, and I know what I named this. It's probably going to go way away from that, and we're probably just going to talk. But hey, whatever is what floats people's boat, right? And so I'm sure you will get information to grow your business. So how's Mr. Donovan hanging out there today and down in Miss Raleigh?
Life is pretty good right now. I don't have much of anything to complain about. We got a lot of good things going on. Bear with me while I mount my phone up here. But yeah, life is pretty good. Oh, there's my ring light in the background for my OnlyFans. Let me just take that out of the picture. There we go. I'm doing a lot of hiring right now. So we had 2 interviews today. We hired somebody. We hired a new receptionist earlier this week. We got 2 new technicians starting tomorrow. So business is good. We got a lot going on. You and I got the big conference that we're doing here in a month. So I'm in like a really cool place coming off of Christmas lights where I've been really, really, really active for a while. And then I sort of like played off that momentum of, look, I'm going to go from doing a lot of work to like working on my business, but at that same high pace of of activity. So it's been a really good start to the year. I'm pretty excited.
I want to hit on something right there, and I've been dealing with some people, and Donovan I know has dealt with this over time because he's got dogs that cost way too much that his wife would kill him if she knew how much he had invested in them. But how I see a lot of people that want to grow a business, right? They want to grow a business, whether it's Christmas pressure washing, whatever it is, but they got the shiny syndrome, and they see this new shiny thing over here, and they got this over here, and they never really work on the business itself, right? We want to chase money rabbit trails, but we never sit there and focus on working on the business so that way we can grow. And I know Donovan's got ADD like every entrepreneur does. How do we handle that, and what are some things that we can do to, or what have you done to be able to get where you're at now?
Um, I don't really try to work on the things that I'm not good at. I try to do a lot of what I am good at. And that's just something that seemed to work pretty well with me. Now, if you're not good at doing the work, but you don't have any employees and you don't have that, you're going to have to work on that a little bit. But that's not what I'm saying. Like I can't spell to save my life, but as quick as I could, I got somebody in the office, and now I'm not typing up social media posts. I'm not the one typing up the emails. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, because that would take me a lot longer to do that than somebody who's natural. That's sort of their natural ability and skill set. One thing that's worked really well for me, and it's worked well for me personally, and it's worked real well now that I'm in a hiring employee kind of stride, is what am I really good at, or what's that employee really good at? And I got a perfect example. I hired a guy named Cody. I'll go ahead and say his name, and I hired him as an operations guy because he came good as a referral. He was a manager at another place, but I'm telling you, hey, how's it going, Brian? I'm telling you, he was not a good fit for this role. And because we kind of put him in, I put him into that role, he was sinking. All right. And it was during a busy time of the year, like it was a sink or swim situation, and he was straight up sinking. Now coming into the new year, I had a talk with him at the beginning of 2 weeks ago, and I said, how do you feel like you're doing in this role? He's like, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm like, I don't. Like, I'm on my last straw. Like, I'm ready to say, go find another job. So a few things have to change. Here's what I want you to do for the week. I want you to go out and do some technician stuff and really focus on that. I'm going to need to see a few things here and there or whatever. And at the end of the week, I sat down with him again. I asked him the same question, and I said, how do you think you're doing in this role? And he's like, actually, I think I'm doing great. So he gave me the same answer, but my response was, you know what? I agree with you, man. Like you've kicked ass this past week. You've stepped up. I said, what's different? And he's like, I really appreciated having the list of things on my schedule. I appreciated knowing exactly what my expectations were, what I'd have to get done. I would look at some of the other crew's schedule, and I would like actually try to push myself and be competitive to at least be keeping up, if not doing a little bit better, this and that. He's like, I really like being a technician. So this guy was not a come up with solutions. He was not I'm going to implement better ways of doing things. I'm going to manage other people. He was like, dude, I just want to come in. I want to do the work, and I want to do it just as good, if not better than everybody else. But I don't want to be responsible for other people. So he turned out to be a great technician for the last few weeks, horrible management level employee. And I think so many people, not only do they have that shiny man syndrome, they got the big old ego sitting on their shoulders, and they're like, I'm a manager. How many people, Jason, do you know that would never, if they got hired on as a manager, be willing to step back and become a technician?
About 90% of the people.
Yeah, I mean, people, 90% would not be willing to do that, right? So there's a lot of us business owners who are like, I'm a business owner. I'm not going to do blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. But the role that they pick for themselves, they're not good at. You know what I mean? So when you pick a role that you're just straight up horrible at, it's going to be a lot tougher for you to do it. So anyhow, that's my 2 cents. Yeah, don't chase big, fancy, expensive equipment. Don't chase the newest trend. I mean, how many people do you know that went out and started a floor epoxy coating business because there's a pretty good YouTube series that went on, and how many of those have like crashed and burned,
A
right?
lot.
So just get like, what are you guys good at right now, and then do that 1,000 times. That's
And this
my
comes even with marketing, right? I see so many
yeah.
people want to do something with marketing. You've got to your business. You didn't even have a website till you were like year 7 or 8, right? You didn't run ads. You didn't do none of that stuff until year 7 or 8. You use yard signs
Networking.
and networking and word of mouth, and that's what
Yeah,
you used for 7 years. And you were
yeah.
doing well over 6 figures for 7, 8 years before you ever even went and did some of these other things.
Oh yeah.
And this is coming back to do the things that that work. I see so many people they don't want to they want to quit doing yard signs, or they want to quit doing something else. He didn't even have T-shirts, Harley, that were bleached out and everything. Now he's got all the old fancy stuff there, right? But it's coming back down to you got to do the same thing over and over. Jason, I did talk about this was going to be $1,000 a day, and this does come down to how do you do $1,000 a day. Figure out how to get to $1,000 a day and do it over and over and over. If you're doing door knocking and you've learned how to do door knocking and you're knocking on that same door every 3-4 weeks, then go for it. Or if you're putting out 100 yard signs, you put out 100 yard signs. I'm in my I do a mentorship, and this morning I was talking about a marketing plan. Whatever you're going to figure out, do it over and over and over. And then the next thing is track it, right? Where is our business coming from? Because a lot of times we think all yard signs aren't bringing us any money. I remember last year, Donovan, he had a whole full garage full of yard signs. And when I went back down in the spring, it was the same yard signs that were there before, because
Yep.
he got complacent, quit putting them out, and now he's putting them back out, right? And so it's because they work, and they work amazingly. And I know I'm pushing on yard signs, but this could be anything. You might be
Yep.
super good at Facebook, but you get tired and don't want to do it no more because is it really bringing me in work? What you don't realize is you're building that network, you're building that thing that will help you grow and be able to scale your business. Let's go back
Yes.
to hiring, because that is a good one, and I know a lot of people are thinking about hiring people in 2023. What are some things that we got to look at when we're hiring someone?
Well, you got to hire, and you got to attract talent to your business just with just as much passion as when you were trying to convince your wife to marry you. You know what I mean? Like, you got to pursue this. You can't, like, an amazing employee is not going to just walk up to you and say, you know what? I want to clean gutters for you. And, I don't want you to pay me $1 million, and I don't care what my hours are. And I'm just going to, on my own, teach myself how to do it all. And, I'm going to stick around for the next 5 years. That's never going to happen. Okay. If you want, what do you want out of an employee? Okay. How many people have you told that that's what you want out of an employee? Right. If you went and just took that attitude towards anything, would you be successful? There's so many people who are like, it's hard to find good help. And so, okay, well, what have you done? Well, I made a post on my Facebook page. Okay, would you be in business if that's how you got clients? Right? Or do you have to do everything? Wow, I just started pouring down rain here. I don't have ADHD. Um, you know,
Squirrel.
you've got to pursue these employees like it's a full-time job. And the other thing is you got to have a plan. Once you get an employee, how are you going to keep them? What would it take to hire me in your company? Like, if you're going to hire somebody with my skill set and get me to come work for you and stay there, what would you have to give me? What sort of environment would I want to be a part of? Right? How much do you want your employees to care about equipment? Okay. Well, do you have equipment worth caring about? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing to attract the best of the best of the best? Half of the battle is finding them. The other half of the battle is keeping them. So it's a full-time gig.
If I had $500 to advertise, what would you advertise with and divide it up? I'd buy yard signs.
I'd probably buy $450 worth of yard signs. I'd buy $50 worth of business cards, and then I'd go around. I'd knock on doors for 8 hours a day.
Yep.
And I'd go and I'd sell a job, and I'd do it that day, and then I'd go out to Home Depot or not Office Depot or whatever, and I'd get more business cards printed that night. I'd be passing out 500 to 1,000 business cards every single day. And on the doors that I think are the right ones, I get to a good neighborhood, I'm going to knock on those doors. And then I'd have my yard signs when I go to that neighborhood, and I'd be putting up those yard signs. And when I complete a job, I'd be doing that. But and then in the evenings, for 5 hours a night, I would go out and I'd be on social media. I'd be on LinkedIn, I'd be on Facebook, and I'd be on Google profile, and I'd be doing all the free stuff. And I'd be doing that in my non-productive time. So for me, if I only got $500, like, bro, you're broke. If that's all you got, like, you should be working your business and out there trying to get jobs for 8 to 15 hours a day.
Yeah. It's like anything, right? If you're broke, your job is to get jobs, and your job is to go out and flip every rock. And you know what? You got to do hard things. It's hard to go out there, and sometimes I know people scared to death to go put out a yard sign, but you got to go do it. You got to go talk to people. And you know what? You're going to suck at first. You are going to suck, but you know how you get better? By doing it over and over and learning. And and I was talking to one of the guys that sent me a message. A lot of this is shut up and listen, right? You can start the conversation, shut up and listen, because you know what? That customer will tell you what they want, and then you can work off of that. And guess what? You can use that to sell for you at that point. If they're talking about, I ain't got time to do this stuff, well, guess what? We're going to save you time, honey. That's how we're going to make this work.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, here's another option, right? Go get a job. Okay. Go get a job. Like FedEx, the morning shift starts at 4 a.m. So go get a job working at FedEx, put in 8 hours, get off at noon, and then spend from noon till the end of the day growing your business. But at least that way you can pay your bills. And then instead of having $500, you might have $1,500 to put in marketing. You know what I mean? So if you're like, I don't want to knock on doors, I can't do that, it's illegal in my area. Okay, well then go get a job, go make more money. If you came to me right now and you say, hey Donovan, I live in Nightdale, or I live 30 minutes away, or hey look, I want to come work for you Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, and I'm going to absolutely give you 100% of everything I got. I want you to pay me really well, but I'm trying to grow my business on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Would you be willing to hire me, and I'm going to bend over backwards to make you successful while I work for you? I would say, bro, come, please. Get the rest of my employees thinking like that. And then you can work like 2 days a week, Friday, Saturday. You can work for yourself. And then once you get those days filled up, you start working Thursday, Friday, Saturday for yourself. Once you get 3 days working for yourself, flush the other job and go full time, go 5 days a week. So, a lot of people, the thing is that, like, my circumstances aren't your circumstances. Like, Jason and I both have kids. Like, we couldn't, we might not be able to just go out and start up a business from scratch 15 hours a day and not have any safety net, because we're married, we have kids. Like we might need more income than what we could produce, like starting from nothing. Right. So I would say there are so many options. But if you're dedicated, and I mean dedicated, to making your business successful, there's an option out there that'll work really good for you. The difference maker is, like, if you could be a part of like some sort of mentorship, like cheap or free or low cost. Like, I know Jason has his Marketing Sunday thing. It's really not that expensive. But if you could plug in with somebody who really cares about you and knows about your specific details, they could come up with a plan that works really good with you, and you can make it happen. So yeah, I'll shut up and let you ask the next question.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just hanging out for the ride right now. I just got home when like 2 minutes before you sent me that message. I was still in the truck. I was pulling a Donovan, so I was running behind here tonight. And talking about that, I want to hit on something. I'm probably, next week is probably going to be, instead of Thursday night, we're probably going to move it to Wednesday night at 9:00. Just because I am. I've kind of taken another position at Water Rescue. It's my volunteer thing, and I've got promoted to supervisor, and so I'm kind of pushing a lot of buttons there. So We're going to start doing probably on Wednesday nights. Will be my next live. And if you are, I'm actually going to probably lose you here a second, and I will bring you back on here, Donovan. If you want to sign up to know when I go live, you can text King at this number, and then that way I put a text out to let everybody know that I'm going live. Hey, Donovan, tell me about that special you got going on down there about the $99 gutter cleaning down there.
I learned a long time ago to kill my ego. So I got some good buddies in the area that put my logo on other people's cheap flyers and pass them out. uh, yeah,
I
we
went
got a
to
guy in our.
I looked up the phone number, and they don't have very good Yelp reviews. Like they have, and if you have bad Yelp reviews, that's just really bad at that point.
I don't know. I think all my reviews on Yelp are bad ones. Like I think Yelp is where like pain in the ass customers go to leave a review. I hate Yelp. Like I hate them with a passion.
Yeah.
But anywho, I digress. Look in my area but that's a good point, right? In my area, I used to be the cheap gutter guy, right? And I got into power wash, and I was like, bro, I'm not going to be doing this type of work for cheap, like because then you're adding on equipment and employees and all this other type of stuff. So we have right here in my area, we have $99 gutter guys. We also have an $87, I mean not gutter guy, power washing guy. So we got a $99 power washing guy, and we also have an $87 power washing guy. You know what I mean? And so I'm out there and I charge $650 to clean that house. I'm good to go. Like I have plenty of work for me. They have plenty of work for them. Like let them do that. There's no way that they can be busy enough to pay for their equipment and grow employees and everything else. Even if they are staying busy full time and they're doing 3 jobs a day or 5 jobs a day, they're going to reach capacity. There's so many customers that will just go and 87. Look, bro, because 89 is too much, so I got to dip it down to 87, right? and but you know what, dude? Let them be busy, and eventually, here's what will happen: they'll either go out of business, or they'll be like me, and they'll grow, and they're like, oh my God, I have to charge more. And so, those customers are also the price shopping customers. They're not loyal to me. They're loyal to whoever's going to be cheapest. And the moment that I want to grow my business or hire an employee, the other thing, I got on a call today about getting benefits for my employees. How many other pressure washing, gutter cleaning companies do you know that give benefits to their employees? Like healthcare benefits?
Not very many.
How many do 401k matching?
Not very many.
How many do paid time off?
Probably less than 2% on any of all of those, what you just said.
Right? So these are the things that I'm looking at, bro. I can't afford to do all that and take care of my guys and attract the best of the best of the best if I'm not charging premium pricing. Like I cannot do that on a $99, house wash budget. Now here's the other thing, right? If I'm going to bring the best guys that are the best at what they do and they want to grow and they want to make good money and they want these benefits, I'm also going to expect a whole lot from them. So if they're not bringing in $500,000 a year, like, bro, goodbye. I'm going to go find somebody who is willing to bring that in, that I can pay a whole lot more. All right. And so those higher quality people, the higher quality equipment, attract the higher quality customers. So we are offering those benefits this year. Good stuff, man. And I tell you what, it's a lot easier than you think. Like, right here in North Carolina, and I believe this is Chris Johnson, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Chris Johnson is not a competitor, but he's here in North Carolina with me. I use Gusto for my payroll. You can get workers' comp through them, and you can also get benefits through them. So if healthcare is like $600 a month, I'm going to pay for 50% of it, or I might pay for more, but that's only costing me $300 a month, and it's costing employees $300 a month. Earlier this season, I think everybody has gotten sick, and they were out of the office for like a week or something like that. Well, what if they had health care, and so the moment they got a little sore throat or something, they went to the doctor, they got it checked out, and they got some, antibiotics or whatever, and then instead of them being out of work for a week, they're out of work for 2 or 3 days. Like that right there, I'm making it up. So there's a lot of these things that if you don't have the money to invest in it, you're actually operating at a lower productivity level just because you can't get over that threshold to afford to be more productive.
And this
So
comes back to this right here, charging premium, right? We're not charging the cheap stuff. We're not the $99 guy. You know, Chris put here that he's closing $2,500 packages with the same guy charging $400. We're not charging
yeah,
$400 because if he was charging $400, he wouldn't be having employees. He wouldn't be getting all of that stuff. He wouldn't have a salesman. He wouldn't be able to do that stuff. You know,
yeah,
I was the guy that I was talking to yesterday, Mike, that I was saying that was kind of took me back to my beginnings when I was in BNI with him. He literally works for a HVAC company that his average ticket is $11,000. They're one of the most expensive people in the greater Cincinnati area, but they have 150 employees, and he makes 179,000 as a salesman,
yeah,
a year, selling these high dollar rigs. Now, he even said they're selling the same $4,000 unit is as the guy that's charging 5,000, but their average ticket is $11,000, right? And so that means he's selling some that are way higher and some that ain't so high, but $11,000 is his average ticket. How do you do that? You know, that company didn't get that big by going out and only making a $500 off of it. They made
yeah,
it because of, and you know what? There is a lot of expense. They got marketing. They got sale. They're paying a full-time sales guy. They're paying their health benefits, right? They're putting 401. They're doing all these other things because they're doing premium pricing. And so even if you want to get to $1,000 a day for pressure washing, you don't get there by going $99 jobs. You don't even get there by doing it at $200 jobs, right? Because if your average ticket's only $200, that means you got to do 5 jobs to get to $1,000, and you're not doing 5 pressure washing jobs. First off, you're probably not even getting 5 pressure jobs a week, let alone a day, to be able to get that. So these are the importance of why we want to charge more, so that way we can get our average ticket up. Because if we get our average ticket up to just $500, now I only got to get 2 jobs per day to get to my average ticket, to get to that $1,000, right?
yeah.
And so this is just to get to $1,000. If you want to get to 10,000 a week or $30,000 a week, these are the things you have to do to make this happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they sell according to their own pocketbook, or maybe they don't understand the amount of money that's out there. Um, I have a buddy that I'm playing cards with tonight. I mean, he's right here in the other room. He sells roofing. Now, I used to have a construction business, and I can tell you, you go out and do roofing, and there's some people that will go and do a roof for $1,000 at like 250 to 300 a square. Um, he's out there selling for at least 500 a square. Now, he's going out to his customers and he's saying, "Look, we're going to do all the drip edge. We're going to do the ice and water. We're going to give you all these things, and I'm going to include it. I'm not going to charge you more for it like some of these other companies will." Look, he's not giving it to them for free. That he's just saying, "Look, my minimum is everybody else's premium." Okay, and their customers are paying for it. So instead of nickel and diamond, he's just saying, "Look, here's what I'm going to do for you, and this is the price." And last week before last, he brought home in his pocket $40,000 in profit. He profited $40,000 from selling roofs after a big storm that came through. There are
And this
so
comes
many
back
people.
to this also comes back to the customer service side of things too, right?
Yeah,
You know, the guy I was talking about, Mike, you know, they're doing all the little things. That companies, and they actually have a big coaching company that coaches them how to do this stuff, right? It comes down to whether you put booties on when you go in the house. You're
yep.
calling before you get there. You're doing all that. You're sending pictures. He shows up on every job at the install, right? You're doing all of these little things that make massive big things happen. But you know why the little guy can't do it? Because he can't do all these other things because he's so busy worried about working with the $15 an hour task instead of worrying about working on the $100, $1,000 an hour task. And this is something that I see a lot of little guys that struggle with this all the time.
Well, I know, Chris Johnson just popped up on here. I know for a fact that when he goes and he sells jobs, he goes in person and he walks the customer through everything that he's willing to do. He doesn't just go out there and say, "Hey, I'll do this for $100." He is getting that $2,500 average ticket because he's telling that customer everything that he's willing to do, and here's the price. How does that sound? Thank you so much for being willing to do all these little things. I don't have to find 5 different people to do it. And that's how he gets his average ticket up to 2,500 bucks. Now look, if you guys aren't doing that or you don't know how to do it, Chris is coming to our training down. He's coming to the conference and he's talking about sales at our conference. That is included in the conference. Jason, I don't know if you've been promoting it on here. It is I know we're on a power washing channel, but if you guys are interested in either doing gutter cleaning, gutter install, or Christmas lights, our next training is down there in Orlando, Florida, coming up in February. And Chris Johnson's going to be down there. He's going to be talking about in-person sales and advanced sales tactics. So it's going to be a good event.
What is the website? I don't remember. I got a bunch of them, but what's your website to
Yeah,
set up
you
to?
can go to clclighttraining.com.
Yep. And then you get into that, you actually get the Christmas light training and you get the gutter con. It's more like a convention. It ain't really like it's not really like the hands-on portion, but it is more of the side of a convention way. Like think of it as the huge. That's kind of the goal of this.
Yeah, and there's going to be some heavy hitters there. We got Patrick Clark that's coming. He's with Sales Boost. He has like 9 locations. We got Tommy Mello, who runs a $150 million business. He's talking there. We got Megan Like. She runs Admin Boot Camp, who will take, her class alone is like $2,700 or $3,000 for her class. She's coming in and she's speaking for us on Thursday. There's some really heavy hitters that we're bringing in there. And the cool thing is that it's only going to be about 200, maybe 250 people there for the entire conference. And Jason and I are probably going to cap our room at 50 people. So you're going to be able to get like in these rooms with a small group of people, and you're going to be able to get time with all these folks. Whereas at the huge, there's 1,000 or some of these other conferences, it's tough to get their time. The other thing is that you'll be able to pull Jason and I off to the side, and Jason and I will go to 10, 11 o'clock at night just helping you out. So it's going to be an awesome networking event on top of the training, on top of the networking that's there.
Yep. Somebody asked a question about permanent lighting. There will be some permanent light. It's not the actual class, but it will be some permanent lighting discussion also there.
Yeah, we're spending half a day on permanent lighting down there at clclighttraining.com. So we're spending half a day on permanent lighting. We have worked directly, like when I say we, I mean Christmas Light Contractors. So I own an install business and I also am a partner in Christmas Light Contractors where we import and we sell a lot of lights, right? But we've worked very closely with the manufacturer of Minley and Permanent Lighting. They manufacture the highest quality one. And we've implemented some things and we've got them to develop a product that I will tell you is the simplest ease of installation out there for a permanent lighting, and it looks absolutely awesome. So we're going to spend half a day just talking about permanent lighting, all the how-to, and then also the entire weekend, Tyler Zimmerman's going to be there. He's an expert on permanent lighting. So he's going to be there, and we're going to have a factory representative to be there talking about the specifics. So, and then Jason and I are going to be talking about marketing and a lot of other ways to get some customers on that. So we'll cover some of the business side, and we're going to spend half a day specifically on the how-to of permanent lighting. So that quite honestly is probably going to be your best bet to learn for the hands-on portion. Usually our permanent lighting training is just online, and it's like, yeah, you can watch 2 or 3 hours worth of somebody talking at you, and then hey, go out and figure it out. But this will be where you can actually play around the product, see how it's installed, ask questions directly to us, and we can spend as much time as you need answering your questions.
See, I do got people that love me. I made it to the live, man. You are a genius. I'm learning so much from you before I start. Thank you for everything. I can't thank you enough, brother. Awesome. If you want to know when I go live, you can go text King, if it'll come up here, to that number. And that way I send a text out every time I go live. So that way you know when I go live.
I think he's talking about me. I think he's saying he sees you go live all the time. He finally made it to one that I'm on.
So what's CLC training.com is where you can go at.
Yeah, clclighttraining.com. You got two options. You can buy the ticket for the event, or you can buy just a gift card for buying lights. So if you know you're going to buy permanent lighting or Christmas lighting, you could just buy the a gift certificate or whatever a credit for purchasing the lights. You can come to the event for free, or you can just buy a ticket to the event, whichever you prefer.
So let's hit on something else that I've kind of been pushing, and this is another thing that gets you to 1,000, but it also gets you to 10,000. Right? Is what are your thoughts on setting goals and setting stuff for your business?
I think that it is something that I have struggled with for a really long time. Um, but if you don't have goals, okay, you're never. How do I aim my phone up there? All right, come on, there we go. All right, if you don't have goals, you're never going to achieve them. All right. When you're just focused so much on how am I going to pay the bills this Friday, it's easy to not set business goals. But I also know this. It's like what I said before about finding a good employee. You're not going to magically hit a goal that you're not consciously thinking and striving to achieve. You're not going to wake up one day and all of a sudden have good finances. You're not going to wake up one day and all of a sudden have a good marriage. You're not going to wake up one day and all of a sudden have kids that respect and listen to you and don't get knocked up at 13. Like, these are all things that take a dedicated, thoughtful effort and a goal, right? If you want a business to have employees and you don't have goals and you don't have a direction, you may find a couple of employees, but it won't be very long before you won't have a business. So goals are a few things. They should be attainable and they should be measurable, right? And they should stretch you a little bit, but you should be able to measure the goal. You should be able to say, am I on track? Am I not on track? They should be attainable. And so you should have the potential of reaching them. Like, it's none of those things like some people say, I set a goal to be better than who I'm going to be in 10 years, or some bullshit like that. Like, no, like, set a goal that you can reach, that is going to stretch you a little bit and that you can measure it. Here's a perfect example of a goal that I set. I set for my Christmas light install business this past year, going into July or whatever, I was telling everybody I want to do $1 million in residential installs. So I want to take out the commercial, I want to take out the big stuff, and just in my residential, I want to do $1 million. Well, guess what? October starts rolling around, and I am not on track. I am nowhere near on track that I would come anywhere close to $1 million just on residential. Okay. So what I did is I had a goal. Was it attainable? No, it was no longer attainable. So there's no sense in me still having that goal, right? We're not talking about it. Well, if a miracle happens, I'll reach the goal. That's not what we're talking about. So what I did is I reset my goal. I set a new goal that was attainable, that I could reach, and then I could measure it. And guess what? We passed the second goal, and it still stretched my, you know what I mean? So if I had not had a goal that was attainable, I would not have done as much as I did because my goal wasn't attainable. And I didn't have, if I didn't have a way to measure it, it would have been at the end of the year. I've been like, okay, it's time to hit the goal. Did I hit it or not? Let's do some research. Oh, crap, I didn't do it. But because I set a goal, originally it wasn't attainable. So I said, all right, let's crap that goal. Let's set a new one. And then I kept measuring it. And then I surpassed it. So it stretched me and I surpassed it with some momentum. So we had a great year. But it was nowhere near residential alone $1 million. Now we went over that if I factor in like big commercial jobs and drive-through displays and some other stuff that we did. Like, we exceeded that. But just my residential, which is what we do most of our training on, I didn't hit $1 million, and I'm okay saying that. But you know what? I'm also okay with 700 grand. You know what I mean? When last year everything combined was right at 500, and this year residential alone was at 700. I mean, that's great success. That's still nowhere near $1 million, but I'm proud to say that. You know what I mean?
Yep. This is
And
a
if I hadn't reset that goal, I would have been probably closer to 600,000. I would have lost out at least minimum on 100 grand.
Well, because when you set goals, then you strive for it, right? You start doing more follow-ups. You start trying to get more bids. You do more follow-ups, and you do more
Yeah.
bids, and you do more follow-ups. Oh, did I say something about following up? Following
Mhm.
up's amazing, right?
Well, and the other thing is like they've done studies, like they dropped a mouse in a bucket of water and like one was in pitch darkness and the mouse drowned right away. But when it could see just a little hope of light, that mouse would tread water for a long time, right? So the same thing with your goal. When you can see the fact that it's just right there, if you just try a little harder, do one more job, put one more quote out there, follow up with one more client, like it taps into your creativity. And I think as like men or as business owners, like we want to win, we want to compete, we want to strive to succeed. And dude, I get fired up about this stuff, right? And look, that doesn't happen if you don't have a goal.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
get
know
you
what I
fired.
mean?
I'm gonna get you fired up real quick. Um,
Uh
you made $1 million installing Christmas lights. I'm calling BS on that.
bro wouldn't like it if I told him that I made over 150 grand a day.
Yes, you can make $1 million doing Christmas lights. You can do it. I did a $500,000. That was 2018 or 2017, and
BS.
yep.
BS. It's not true. Donovan, you're just on here trying to pump up your own ego. You know what I mean? Like you're just trying to brag. You're not trying to help anybody, blah, blah, blah. Bro, we've heard it all. Look. Here's something. If you believe it, it's true to you. If I believe it, it's true to me. So if you believe it, man, that's fact. That's gospel to you. So if you don't think it can be done, you are absolutely right. I could tell you that I couldn't live right now on $100,000 a year. I wouldn't even know how to pay my bills if I only was bringing in 100 grand a year.
He got a
I mean,
$100,000 dog training bill every year.
it's not quite that much, but them dogs are expensive, man. And the moment they bite somebody, it's going to be real expensive for me. So I got a speeding ticket last night. It was like the first ticket I got in a long time, but it was right at midnight. So I didn't even try to sweet talk my way out of it or anything. Honestly, I was like, bro, I got the money now. I was like, just give me the ticket. I don't care. But I had the dogs in the back in a crate, and that woman walked up and she like looking in the crate, see what that was, and that whole truck started moving because he's in there like, ah, like just acting like a fool. And that woman, that cop jumped back and was all shocked. I was like, worth it. That right there. This is gonna give me a ticket. I'm glad she nearly her pants. You know what I mean? Like worth it. Every penny I put into it, man. Uh,
So how was that high-speed driving award?
48 and a 35. Like the road that I was on was 55 miles an hour. I turned onto a road and then all of a sudden blue lights. And I'm like, okay, I actually pulled to the side of the road so that the cop could go past me because I didn't think they were pulling me over. I thought there was like an emergency that they were trying to get around me. So I actually pulled over and then I saw the cop pull behind me. I was like, oh wow, let me turn off this road or something. And they come up to the window. She's like, I pulled you over. I'm like, no, she's like, you're going 48 and a 35. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was a 35. Sorry. So now look, back in the day, that would have been like 78 and a 35. Like I used to speed, man, but these days, I got a lot to lose. I don't need to break my neck driving down a, country road a million miles an hour. Uh,
So, again, if you want to go to GutterCon and Christmas Light Con, you can go check out CLC Lights or CLC Lights training. It is Friday and Saturday. The Thursday is actually Megan's admin boot camp, correct?
well, yes, she's doing a 2 day, but Megan is coming and talking in ours on Thursday as well, right around I think 1 o'clock
Because
or
someone
12.
put on the website that it's only on Friday and Saturday.
Well, yes, but I'm doing a gutter cleaning day on Thursday. But you guys, again, if you come for it, you get access to everything. So again, we have Megan Likes that's going to talk on at our event on Thursday, and we have Patrick Clark that's going to talk on Thursday as well. Ryan Kolb's coming. I'm going to do a talk, but we're going to do a half a day on Thursday for people who are coming into GutterCon early. So at noon, to 5 o'clock on Thursday. We're doing a couple of business talks and a little bit of gutter cleaning specific talks. You guys are welcome to that. There's happy hour at 7 o'clock. And also food and some drinks are included in this as well. We're spending several $100s a person on on food, and if you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna come, you're gonna learn, you're gonna network with good people, you're gonna eat good food, you're gonna have a good time. I think we're even hiring a magician for one of the happy hours. Let's get people junk and show them magic tricks or something.
This is something that I hear a lot, and this is something I want to hit on before we get off here. A lot of people don't like spending money on training. They don't like investing in themselves. And I don't care if you come here or not. I don't need your money. I don't want your money if you don't think it's worth it and you don't think you can 10x your value out of this. But, every time that I grew my business, it was when I went to a different training. And I've went to a bunch of them. I've talked a lot about how I learned how to do marketing because I paid the person that said they were the best person, that you do this and you're going to get your phone just going to blow up, and it didn't. And so whether it's learning, and a lot of people think that, I need to go learn a lot about the equipment, and the equipment is where it's at. The equipment's not where it's at. I am having an in-person training class on Saturday or on Sunday. If you want to learn pressure washing, you can go to kingofpressurewash.com/in-person training. And I actually have where if you pay, it's a lot more, but my package B is you can come and get all of Christmas Light Con, all of GutterCon, and you can do in-person training on Sunday. So, and it's not like I'm making a lot of money because everything I'm on that one goes to GutterCon, but this is something that you can do too if you want the in-person training of how to do pressure washing. So this one is in Orlando, Florida. It's on the south side of Orlando. It's down by Kissimmee. I'm actually going to have the people that are going to bring their rig for me to use is a couple that did $700,000 this year. They literally started. This is their third year they're starting, and they've literally changed their life. I've had them on here a couple times, Andrew and Savannah, so you can meet people like that. And so there's a lot of cool things you can do. So if you want to go check that out, you can go to King of Pressure Wash. Again, you'll see, go to in-person training, and that's where you will get hands-on training for pressure washing. And you'll learn how to do all the marketing and stuff. But this is something that is a lot for Christmas lights. If you did 30, 40,000 in Christmas light last year and you want to double that or triple that, I would highly recommend you come and do this. Or if you did 200,000 and you want to double it, this is something that you will learn to take things away. And even if you've taken our class before, you're going to learn something new. We could give you the exact same information we gave you before. It's not going to be, but you will learn something that you'll be able to take because you're in a different stage of where you're learning at, right? Because when you first started Christmas lights, you were all worried about how to put the bulb and how to do a male and a female, right? Everybody worried about this. And yeah, Jason's talking about marketing, but this is what I want to talk about is this right here, right? Now you learned how to do this. You don't care about that. Now I focus on marketing, how to get more business, how to get faster, how to do all of those things. And then some things that we're going to hit on that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, how to pressure wash a house and how to screw in a light bulb, those are $15 to $20 an hour tasks. But if you're like me, I learn a lot better with my hands, with touching it, with doing it. That is why Jason and I put on the in-person how-to hands-on trainings. That's why he's doing this on Sunday, is because there's a need for certain people to learn. Some people can go on YouTube, watch a few videos and make a lot of money. But there's a lot of folks like me that I learn better in person. I learn better when I'm doing it. And when you're messing with something like power washing or Christmas lights, there is some risk there, and it's better to learn in person. Now, here's the other thing. If you aren't in a place that you want to learn to grow your business, then don't come. I'm being serious. Jason and I don't want anybody there who doesn't want to be there, right? We want the people there who are ready to just pour gasoline on the fire and grow their business. We want the people there who are in a place to grow and that are really serious about growing the business. Like, we want the people there that are on the edge of their seat, like just ready to go, like really paying attention, because these events wear us out. And there's nothing. We every now and again we get somebody that comes to an event and we're like, why did you come? You didn't listen to a thing we said. So, and we pour so much into this. And the other thing is that Jason won't say it, but we're on the hook for almost $200,000 for this event total. All right. Our goal is to break even. You know what I mean? Like, we're pouring a lot into this event to make it as successful as we can. This isn't something that we're doing to make millions and millions of dollars. Like, we're pouring as much into this, and everything that we can think of to make it better, we're pouring into it. So we really want the people there who want to be there. Quite honestly, if you don't think you're going to get anything from the event, please just save your money. Watch some of the lives, like interact here on the live. Don't spend your money, just interact on the live. Go out and take a little bit of action. And then once you are ready, then come to an event. Okay? The last thing we want to do is for you to spend your money, come into an event, not get anything out of it, and then talk bad about it afterwards. You know what I mean? So I hope that that's taking the pressure off of you guys feeling like we're pressuring you guys to come. But if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to learn, what I can guarantee you is that if you come there with the mindset to learn, there's going to be a lot of really good talks. And I know that we have gutter industry people there. We have Christmas lights or permanent lighting, or when Jason's talking, Jason is a power washing guy or a Christmas light guy. But there's going to be people there that learn from Jason, because our talks are really going to be business talks. They're not going to be a lot of the how-to. So for our Christmas light day, we're spending 1 hour on Christmas light basics. And then we're spending the rest of the day on business. So you could take anything from the rest of those talks, and yes, it's going to be geared towards Christmas lights, but you could apply it to any service business. And again, how many other conferences do they got people there that have, oh crap, I can't even add up. So $1 million is 7-figure. So 10 million would be 8-figure, 9. So how many people do you know that run a 9-figure business that are going to come to a room of only 200 people and talk, right? So I mean, that alone should make you want to come, I would think.
So I'm going to answer this question because I like questions like this. To make $1,000 a day, how much are you spending on marketing, and how much does a customer and marketing cost? Of the $1,000, how much is profit? Maybe I'll answer that question. This is a great question because it depends on.
That's a really good question.
It depends on a lot of things. It depends on if you're a $99 guy, if you're a $500, if your average ticket's $700. A lot of things come into play in this. Marketing, I teach to spend 10%, 10 to 15%. So that's $100 to $150 in marketing. On the profit side, that can be anywhere from 0 to 50, 60%, right? There's a lot of factors in what that could be. If you're not efficient, if you went so far in debt for equipment, and you're paying off equipment, and you got too many employees and you just got way too many costs, there's a lot of factors that come into this. When I was running 4 trucks, my goal was $1,500 a day per truck, right? Because that's what I needed to hit profit and make money, because there's a lot of cost in things that are involved in there. So,
yeah, the other thing is like me right now, I'm not spending anything to get my gutter cleaning clients right now because of the time of year. My customer list is already established, right? I mean, I got thousands and thousands of people. I haven't even called them because, I'm so busy with people coming to me. But that's also, keep in mind, I've been doing it for 10, 15 years now. So you can't just hear me say that and be like, oh, I'm going to do the same thing, get the same results. Like, the question is, what would it take you? So I can give you a few ideas, right? I promise you, if you go knock on 100 doors and you're a halfway decent, halfway presentable salesperson, you could probably land 2, 3 jobs that day. If you're a $99 guy, that's $300. But if you're charging $300 a job, or $350, there's your $1,000 a day just by knocking on doors. Now, Is that zero cost? No. You had to go out all day knocking on doors and print off flyers and all this other type of stuff. So where a lot of people say, oh, I got a low marketing cost or it's all word of mouth. Well, what would it cost if you paid somebody else to do what you did to get that customer? So how much would I have to pay a sales guy to get him to go out all day, every day, knocking on doors, closing leads for me? Well, probably somewhere between 20 and 30% of the job, right? That sales guy would want to make a minimum $200-300 a day if he's a good, competent, and even that might not be enough to get like somebody who's really, really, really good. You might be able to get somebody who has no experience making a couple $100 a day, right? Or they could come work for me and do that and not have to go knock on doors, and they could have access to, whatever, and make a lot more than that. So, the real thing is, what is it going to take you to do that? And so if we're talking about power washing, and let's just talk about power washing a house, $500 job, just do siding or something like that, basic. I feel like we can get 2 or 3 of those done in a day. Let's say we're at a 50% close rate on our leads. So to get 3 people, we'd have to get 6 leads or whatever. So Jason, what would it cost in Google Ads to get 6 leads?
Anywhere 6 leads, you're looking at, let's just say 15. Let's just say you're high. Let's just go easy. $10 math. $10 a click. It usually takes 3 clicks to get a lead, so it takes 6 clicks. So it costs you $60 to
Yeah.
get a job, basically.
Yeah. So if we're doing it by clicks, then that'd be $30 to get the lead. So you're at $280, right, to get those 3 jobs. Like so the $60 times 3. So you're at 18%. So 10 to 20%. If you're gonna do it through Google and you don't have any referrals, you're not putting out any yard signs to a referral to yard sign costs you $2-3, right? Whereas Google costs you 30. So when you average them together, now you're around 10, to 15, and so your cost goes down, and then you get a referral that costs you absolutely nothing. So that's how we say spend 10% of your total on marketing, but that doesn't mean just spend 10% if you're only going to do Google, which is 100% paid, right? So maybe your first 5 jobs or your first 10 jobs or your first 2 months cost you 20 to 30% of the job to get to land those leads. But then if you start doing some referrals and you get Google reviews and you get yard signs out there and you get 5 around and all that other type of stuff, then around the 6-month mark, the 6 month to a year, you should be at 10% because you have more revenue. So you're spending more dollars, but it's a lower percentage of your total. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
I think it does.
I like this here. Absolutely be happy with who you are. Work hard to get where you want to be. Don't compare yourself or your business to others. And I think this is where a lot of people screw up. A lot of people want to compare themselves and go and, I'm going to see how much they're charging. I'm going to charge the same amount as them. And they don't even realize that they're broke and ready to go out of business. And
Yeah.
so it is, or the other part of it is, well, Johnny over here got all this new equipment. I got to go buy all this new equipment. And the next thing you know is all this new equipment. One of my guys in my mentorship literally just went and bought a rig because that's what they did. They went and bought the $12,000, $15,000 rig, and guess what? They sold it for $9,000. And they did literally like 1 or 2 jobs, right? Because that's what happens, and it happens all the time. Because you go spend 10, 12, 15, 20,000 on a rig. That's not going to make you money. It's just like you go and buy all these Christmas lights and you don't know how to sell high ticket price stuff. You're going to go out of business. You will literally go out of business. You can even charge, we teach people to charge 8 to 12, $14 a foot. Why?
Yep.
Because there's people out there that do it for $4 to $6 a foot, but they also go out of business a lot of times too, or they're not making no money at the end of the day. They're like, I ain't got no money. I haven't made no money. Well, you haven't made no money because you wasn't charging properly. You didn't know how to
Yeah.
do that. So that's what we teach in our classes, is to make sure you understand how to do that. And here's the thing. Here's one last thing I'm going to hit before we jump off here is when you come to these things like GutterCon and that and Christmas Light Con, you get to meet people other people that are in the world doing this stuff, like Chris, like Donovan, like you might
Ramon.
just be starting out, and you can meet people like that are way up. And guess what? You do this thing called networking, and you know what? You will learn more. I will about guarantee you will 10x your business off of a conversation you had at lunch or dinner that will 10x your business more than what we will give you in that classroom. And I hate to say that, but I see it over and over and over. You know, what we're talking in the classroom is a lot of blah, 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 blah. And I hate to say that, but when you go networking, whether it might be you sitting down with dinner with me or you're sitting down with Chris and Chris says, man, I did this for my business. And you're like, did it work? Yeah, it worked and it got me this. And you go implement that in your business and then you 10x that. And it happens over and over. I see that more happening over and over and over. And then the other cool thing is then you get their phone number. And then you start building that relationship with each other and you're calling each other and you're like, hey, what can I do to do this? I did this. Oh, really? I did that. And now my business blew up. And so the biggest thing I see is, and this is hard. I know it's hard. It's hard for me. It was really hard for me. I was the person that was the weird guy that was standing next to somebody listening to the conversation because I
Yeah.
wanted to hear what they were saying, how to make their business. And then I would bring it back to my business and do it. But ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions to other people. These are a lot of like-minded people that are willing to help you and want to see everybody grow and be successful. Don't come there thinking you know it all. Come there thinking you're the dumbest person there and learn. That's the best thing you do. Because when you come there and think you know it all, you won't learn nothing because you don't know it all. And I did $100,000 this year and I just know it all. You don't know. You don't even know the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah. I um I always tell people if you can come to one of these events and take away two things, that's going to be one more thing than most people take away from the event. You know what I mean? And the other thing is that you're going to come to the event probably looking to learn one thing, and then because it's such a dynamic event with so many different speakers, somebody's going to have a talk that you're listening into. Maybe it's at dinner, or maybe it's in the hallway, or maybe it's one of the speakers, and it's going to click, and you're going to be like, holy crap, this is what's been holding me back, or this is the key that I needed to get to the next level. But you came here looking for this, but you got around this, right? And you're like, wow, that's amazing. I didn't even know. It happens every single one of our classes. Some people are like, I came to learn about marketing, but I realized it finally clicked. I need to raise my pricing, or something like that. And then the other thing is that I think that there's probably a few business owners like me that we just really like talking business. I mean, when Jason and I get together, we talk about the dogs for a little bit, we talk about the kids for a little bit, and then it's like 3 days of just business talk and all the cool things we can do to help people, right? Well, I like talking about business, and I'm just out and about with my normal people, normal employees, friends and family, and then I'll get to talking about business, and then I realize they haven't said a word in 15 minutes, and they could care less about my business and my goals and my plans and the growth and this cool thing, and they could care less, and I'm just like, oh crap, why am I even talking to them about this? But I think probably the coolest thing about coming to a conference like this is everybody wants to talk about business. Everybody's in the same service industry, and we want to freaking grow. That's what the common theme is. So you like, we've gone to dinner, and I've looked around the table, and I'm like, there is no other setting that this group of people would be gathered around this table, excited to be around each other, and not like have fake faces on, or like this is so genuine, and our wanting to grow and learn and help each other it's what's bringing us together. So anywho, I'm excited. Jason, you got any last questions or anything like that? Otherwise, I'm going to keep going, man.
So again, you can go check out King of Pressure Wash if you want to join the membership. I do Marketing Monday, where I teach marketing every Monday, and it's kind of a coaching call that I sit there and I talk to. It's 15 minutes about marketing, and then it's an hour and 40 or hour and a half of just helping people grow their business. And so there's about 40 people that show up every week. 40 to 50 people, so it's pretty awesome, and you get a lot of different questions and different things. Also, if you want to know when I go live, anytime I go live, you can text this here. I text when I go live. I text right before. I'm not pushing a bunch of anything else. It's just I go live on every Sunday night, and next week's going to be Wednesday night. So I know that's going to be a big ringer. Wednesday night at 9 o'clock is when I'll go live next week. So that is going to be a change that is coming out there. Again, I am having an in-person training. It is a hands-on. It's that Sunday right before that. If you want to just do the training, it's a one-day. I'm going to be cramming a whole lot in one day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done in one day, but I'm going to try like heck. It's probably going to go to about 5 or 6 because I got a lot of information. And then if you want to do GutterCon, I will be speaking on Saturday, doing some classes on Saturday, and then Donovan will be there on Thursday and Friday. And Saturday. And again, I would highly recommend you to think about coming and thinking about doing this stuff. I am a member, and I strongly encourage everyone to join Jason's membership, kingofpressurewash.com. So before we jump off here, what are some words of encouragement? Yes, there will be a Zoom call this Sunday for my membership. I also do a Zoom call every other Sunday, and there will be one this Sunday. What is some words of encouragement before we jump off here, Donovan?
Your business can be the solution. It doesn't have to be the thing that cost you time, or that cost you money, or that cost you your health. Your business could be the solution. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have enough money to come to training or join the whatever or pay my bills, or okay, we'll grow your business. You know what I mean? Instead of it being I don't have enough money to come, it's like I'm going to grow my business because I don't have enough money, right? Your business can be the solution. I don't have enough time. I'm not spending enough time with my family. All right. Well, grow your business so that in 6 months you can set your own schedule. Today, I stayed in bed with my 2-year-old boy, jumped in bed, and we were wrestling at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't come into the office until about noon for this whole week. I was in the office at noon. Now, look, I stayed late, but I got to goof off until, but there were times that I had to put in those long days. So I grew my business so that I could have more time. All right. Same thing with my health, right? I've always had like a bad back, so I went out there and I worked my ass off so that I don't have to be the one working, right? So the business can be the solution. You don't the excuse. It'll work as an excuse or it'll work as a reason why. And growing your business could be the solution. So hope that
Awesome.
helps somebody.
Well, I hope we get to see you in Florida, and it's warm down there. That's the other benefit. It sucks up here. It's raining and
Yeah.
cold, so it's supposed to
Yeah.
snow.
And that event center, I know we didn't talk about this, but it's like a resort. I mean, you could just go to that hotel and spend all weekend in that hotel and just like make a vacation out of just walking around that hotel. It is a resort. It's new. It's nice. The Gaylord. It is like it is a really nice, fun place to do it. So
And
hope to see you.
the pressure washing training will not be there. It will be offsite somewhere else, just so you know. And I will put details into that later. But hope you all have a great week. I hope you have a safe weekend. Don't go get no high speed driving awards like Donovan did. And stay safe. Hope you all have a great week, and we'll talk at you all later.